Welcome to Babies from Beyond, the podcast that gives all babies a voice, whether they are still in spirit or already earthside. I'm Lauren Dionysius, a former registered NICU nurse turned baby soul communicator, and I'm here to share the wisdom of today's babies to guide you on your motherhood journey. So in today's episode, we're going to be diving into your children and what they can tell you about their life here, about their journey to Earth. So firstly, I really want to honour those souls who are choosing to come to the Earth at this time. It's a pretty rough time to come to Earth, right? Despite all of the progress that we seem to have made over the decades and the centuries, we're also still struggling in many ways as well, especially with connection to ourselves and other people, trust, finances, purpose, satisfaction, joy, meaning of life, all of these things. Stress is at an all-time high, nervous systems are frazzled, and things like loneliness and anxiety and depression at an all-time high. So it always boggles my mind to think that even though we're advancing and becoming more aware and more evolved on many levels, it's also only highlighting what's still missing and where we are still misaligned in different ways. So I really take my hat off to those baby souls who are coming to the Earth right now to create so much change on the Earth, from our systems, our schooling, education, technology, values, lifestyle, all of these things. But they still continue to come. There seems to be no shortage of babies who are wanting to come to the Earth at this time, despite the challenges that we are currently working through as a planet. The things that these babies are sharing about their life here is that they are here to teach more than they are to learn. And with their teaching, they are teaching us their wisdom. While most kids don't remember everything from spirit or their times in other places between lives other than Earth, none of us do really, because it would be a lot to hold within our human bodies. But today's children do remember a lot, more so than previous generations for sure. And they're here to share their wisdom, but also share their intuitive gifts, and to also offer new and improved ways of communicating as well. They're also here to change the systems as a collective, because the systems just don't fit us anymore. And this change has already been fueled and also preceded by a generation of circuit-breaking parents, just like you who are listening to this, who are realizing, usually in adulthood, that the old didn't even work for you. So it absolutely won't work for the next generation. And you're feeling called, or you're feeling motivated or inspired or activated to create change for the next generation and future generations of children. Something else that these children are here to do is to literally heal the world. We think that a lot of the healing comes from the middle to older generations, and this is absolutely true. But I think we underestimate the healing gifts and intuitive gifts of these souls who are coming to the Earth at this time. They have profound intuitive gifts that they come to the Earth with still intact. And many of these children don't need to forget their intuitive gifts in order to remember later in life, which is something that many of us adults have needed to do. They are also helping to heal the world telepathically, and also with their sensitivity and their ability to connect to the world around them, but also the realms around them. Many kids are super psychic and also highly intelligent, often beyond their years. They also have a really powerful ability to create, and they have this knowledge, this wisdom that is otherworldly for many of them. Also, these children, like, their energy is different. their vibration is different. They feel differently. And they have the most incredible light codes. And if you haven't heard that term before, it's this frequency of light, often in different colors of the rainbow, that have different frequencies, different healing abilities. And while there is the recognition on the power of light frequencies in the world, these children are taking it to a whole new level. And as I work more and more with these children on the earth, on the energetic level, especially when it comes to doing remote or distant energy work with them, these kids are literally healing their parents, healing their mothers with the energy capacities and abilities that they not only bring with them, but are remaining intact as well. So they have this incredible ability to transmit light, to transmit energy, especially those children who are on the spectrum or have some kind of neurodiversity. I will actually talk more about this in another episode because I feel that these children require a whole episode to themselves. So keep an eye out for that. Even though these children are coming to teach, as I mentioned, more than they learn, they're also coming here to learn as well. They're coming here to learn about relationships with the people in their lives, often between souls that they may have had experiences with in past lives as well. So it can often be the same souls, but perhaps different lessons, different experiences, or different choices as well. So relationships is a big theme that today's children are coming to work on. They're also coming to have new experiences. Many souls have been coming to the earth over thousands of years, and they've been there, done that. They know how it works. They know the drill here on earth. And so they're coming to have new experiences, whether that's around birth. So for example, IVF, IUI, different ways of conception, different ways of birthing, water birth, home birth, all of these things, that even hospital birth for some. There are some children coming to the earth who haven't had a hospital birth before, haven't had a water birth, haven't been to the earth or arrived on the earth through a cesarean section. So these children are coming and wanting to have a different experience here on earth, a different upbringing around how to parent these children, being born to parents who are willing to do things differently, have the awareness to make changes, new experiences around education and schools and learning in a more formal way, as well as new experiences around the life choices and things they haven't explored before, whether it's different interests, different industries. But a big theme is that they're here to make different choices, whether that's to experience new things or whether there's a repeat pattern that they continue to experience life after life and they want the opportunity to do things different in this life. Because in my experience, the soul's energy, it wants to grow, it wants to learn, it wants to expand. And the earth is a really great place for a soul to experience all of that. Another thing that souls often share around their life here is around patterns and breaking patterns. So this can be on the individual level. So this can be things like I've already mentioned, if there was different patterns in their life, different choices they need to make. For example, it can be that a child has had many past lives as being an alcoholic, and so they can do that over and over again, perhaps not having the opportunity to make changes around that. It's history repeating itself. And then they're born into a family or into a life situation that allows them to make a different choice. And sometimes that can actually be growing up in an alcoholic household and then having the opportunity or the awareness or the willingness to make a change. Or it can be being born into a family that does not have alcoholism in its past history and being able to have a life free of that to strengthen their ability or their capacity to not be tempted by alcohol, which will then support them in a future life where they may choose to be born back into a family with a history of alcohol abuse. So it can be very complicated, and I find the soul's journey and the soul's history, it can often feel more like a cobweb than a straight line. But one of their themes is to break these patterns, and sometimes it can take more than one lifetime as well, like I just mentioned in that alcoholism example. Because after lifetimes of ancestral or familial patterns passed down through generation after generation, it's important to be realistic and to not put pressure on yourself or on them to break patterns so quickly and completely. The way I see the process is we do a bit, they do a bit, their children in the next generation will do a bit, and that goes on and on and on until that trajectory is changed. But that takes time. And I think while there is so much amazing work being done around ancestral healing and intergenerational trauma, which is great, I think there's still so much pressure to do it all in this generation. But from what I've heard from these souls and what I've experienced, it's just not feasible or even needed to do all the work in this lifetime. We just can do what we can do. And I've already touched on this a little bit, but they're also coming here to change the systems, again, whether that's on an individual level or also on a collective level, around how children are born, how children are raised and parented, how they're educated. And the education system is a big one, because finally we're starting to see in this generation, and maybe a little bit in the previous one, that not every kid fits into the traditional school curriculum. And that finally more and more options are being created and expanded to support children where they're at and to meet them where they're at. And from what I've experienced, this will only grow in the future with more and more different types of education available for these children to support them. Because I've worked with many children who have declared outright, sometimes before they've even been conceived, that they do not want to attend a traditional mainstream school, which blows my mind that they have that awareness, or that they already know that's something that they don't want in this life. So these children can also tell you about more of the social changes. So this is around how children are seen or heard by those around them. And with the recognition and acknowledgement of neurodiversity in recent years, I am going to do a separate episode on neurodiverse kids and what their souls share around this, because it's absolutely fascinating to me. So just in summary, today's children are demanding change. They're demanding to be noticed, to be seen, to be heard, well beyond their physical little human bodies. They're wanting us to see them for these wise, powerful, ancient in many ways beings that they are, that have come here to share their wisdom, to create change, to question the status quo, to challenge perspectives and possibilities, which is so needed for the future, for not only future generations here on Earth, but for the future of the planet, for the future of the Earth. Thank you for tuning in to Babies from Beyond. If you've enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to leave me a review just wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, head over to Instagram and give me a follow at Born Energy, and check out the show notes for more ways that you can connect with your baby's soul, including one-on-one readings and online programs to support you. Until next time, trust your journey and your baby. Take care.